Hey everybody, welcome back to Woodside Studio. Mr. Dennis here. Today we are going to be covering the last two levels of the intro to one-point perspective. As I've said before, there's 6 levels that I like to teach. We have covered, if you've watched the other videos, basic box, sequence, intrusions, extrusions, and what we have left is complex geometric and complex organic. So that is what we'll be covering today. Follow along. Okay, so as in the past, I have a basic set of tools, an eraser, a pencil, a triangle, or some kind of straight edge. We are going to cover complex geometric first. So, complex geometric is going to start out as a series of jagged shapes. And if you can draw fairly straight, without your ruler or your straight edge, I'm okay with that, but it's going to be a series of verticals and horizontals like we've done on the other ones, and it's going to be kind of random. Now, the reason we do this one is it's going to teach you a little game called yes, no, or yes, but. So I have a more complicated shape. This is going to be similar to things like letters, maybe engineering assignments, things like that. And that's why we start to do things that are a little bit more complex. So, like I said before, I'm going to start to play the game of yes, no, or yes, but. So on every corner, whether it be an outside corner or an inside corner, I'm going to ask myself, does it need an orthogonal or does it not? Or does it need an orthogonal, but it's going to stop when it hits other stuff? So let me show you what that looks like. I'm going to start out with this corner right here because it's a pretty easy one. That one is definitely a yes. So I'm going to line up with my vanishing point to that corner, and I'm going to draw a line back, nice and light. Okay, and then I'm going to move on from corner to corner and ask myself every time, do I need one or do I not? Or is it yes, but it's going to end? So right here, that one's a yes as well. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that one. This one is actually a no because it would be down and behind it. So that one's a no. This one right here is going to be a yes. This one right here is going to be a no. This one right here, ooh, that one's a yes too. We have a no there because that would be behind. This one would be behind, so that's a no. This one is also behind, so it's a no. How about this one? Oh, I think we have our first yes, but. So it's going to be yes, I am going to draw it, but then it's going to go behind this. So it's a yes, but it stops. Goes behind other stuff. This one would be a no. This one would be a no. That one would be a no. This one is a yes, but it's a sliver. I'm not going to see a whole lot of it. I'm going to see the underside of that right there. This one is a no. This one's a yes. Once again, that one's going to be a sliver as well. So by the time I come back to this one, I'm not going to be able to see much of the underside of that shape, which makes sense because it's really close to the horizon line. As things get closer to the horizon line, I'm going to be able to see less of the top or the bottom of it as it gets close to the line my vanishing point is on. So let's finish this out. This one right here, that one's a yes, but it's going to run into stuff. That one's a no. That one's a full out yes. It's going to run all the way back. This one again is a yes. This one right here, inside corner, some people have a hard time with those, is going to be a yes. So that becomes my series of orthogonal lines. But that leaves us with the challenge of cutting it off, and that is usually where most people struggle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start in kind of the easy space where I started before. And that's going to set my depth for all of the other spaces. So if I start to go parallel to this, is this. And then I have to start to think, okay, well, if it turns the corner here, it would turn the corner on the back side of it as well. So straight down and then straight across. And that sets the depth for that. And then it turns the corner again and goes down. And then turns the corner again and goes that way. So that series was pretty easy because they're all connected. I can firm up my lines that I'm keeping, as I've done in the past. But now I have to figure out how do I continue on to these other pieces. Well, just like I did on the inside of our intrusion, I can check the depth. So if the depth of this one is about that, and I can check it by putting my eraser on one end and my thumbnail on the other end, this wall right up here would be about the same depth as well, which means I can set the depth of that for that right there. So this depth and that one are very similar, the space right here. This one right here, I'm going to do the same thing. Whatever that depth is, it's going to be right about there. This one, I don't know if I'd be able to see where that cutoff is. I need to come down here and finish that area off. So the depth of this, I'm going to check it with my measuring technique again, is going to be right about there. That's about where it cuts off. So it comes down to here, cuts back, and then this turns the corner, which means I'm going to see a very small slice of that right there. Now, as I have done in the other videos, I could go ahead and go through and shade all of that, figuring out, okay, which ones are the sides and which ones are the undersides, making the undersides darker. But I'm going to jump forward into our complex organic, just for the sake of time. All right, time for the final level of 1 point perspective. Complex organic. So complex organic is going to go a little bit like this. I'm going to make an oddball shape that has curves. More of an organic shape. Some people would call it maybe an abstract cloud from a SpongeBob episode or something like that. But I'm going to make something, some people might call it a fidget spinner, some weird shape. It could have 4 sides. Doesn't really matter to me, as long as it's kind of blobbish and has round edges. So when I come back to this right here, I'm going to go ahead and make my shape right here. Oddball shape. There we go. That's going to be what we deal with. All right. Now, with this, there's no corners the way we had before, so it becomes a little bit more difficult to figure out where my orthogonals go. I have thrown the rule of verticals and horizontals out the window, and now I have to deal with some curves. If you really wanted to, you could scale back and do another one in another location that is just simply a circle. And I can show that maybe on another video. But for now, we're going to go ahead and try to tackle this one. If you're at this level and you've done these other 5, you should be able to start to figure this one out. So what I need to do, and the key to it is I need to look for where a curve kind of intersects with where an orthogonal would be and then goes away from it. So, for example, if I line up my vanishing point with that edge of that curve, you can see that it comes to it and goes away from it. So that would be a possibility of a yes. In this case, it is a yes. We're going to play a little bit of the same game that I did over here of yes, no, or yes, but. Now, as I follow this around and start to turn and pivot my straight edge, I'm going to start to ask myself more and more questions about yes or no or yes, but. So as I reach that area right there, and this is one of the reasons I like to use a clear triangle, this is another yes. So I'm going to do that one. Now, there's nothing on this backside yet. I'm starting to come to another intersection right here that's a possibility, but that one ends up being a no because it would go back behind, so I can't see that one. I'm going to keep on going. That's almost one, not quite. Keep on going. That's almost one, but not quite. In some cases it might be. There's another one right here that's a possibility, but it would go behind again. So I'm going to keep on going. Oh, there's another one right there. That one happens to be a yes. Okay? I only have one left right here. And lo and behold, that is going to be a yes as well. Now, I only had to do 4 orthogonal lines on that because of the shape it was. You might have 6, you might have 7. It might be as simple as you have 2 or 3. The hard part in this is now we still have to go after the rule of parallel lines for the cutoffs. Okay? So I have to think about if the line that I'm going parallel to is curved, then the cutoff would be curved in the same way. So, example, this right here has this curve. I have to set what the depth is, and whatever this curve is what the cutoff is as well. So that curve is parallel to this curve. I'm going to go after the other 2 as well. So this curve right here would have to, and I'll have to look at the depth. I'm going to set the depth right about there. That's pretty close to that one. And then I have to be parallel to this curve is that. So that would curve around and it would tuck back behind and it would hide until it came out here again. This one right here, I'm going to look at the depth. We're going to say it's about that deep. It curves and then comes back. So I'm going to do the same thing. Curve and start to come back, but it's going to tuck back behind there. So now I have done the cutoffs on this complex organic shape. And a little bit of shading goes a long way on this. If I start to shade this and fade it out and shade this, gradually make it darker in the middle so it looks like I have a light source, which is in another video. And right here, I'm going to do the same. Start dark, and as I get farther along, I'm going to fade it out. Notice I'm holding my pencil nice and light, not so close to the tip, so I'm heavy-handed. And then I can go ahead and take my eraser and start to erase the extra orthogonals. So there is our complex organic. Time to pause and give this a try yourself.